The channel is live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Adventure on so many levels. We're going to play Blades 68.
Groovy, man.
Far out.
Yeah. I am Christiana Ellis, and I will be the game master tonight for this new campaign of Blades 68. We had our session 0, where our players have created their swinging scoundrels. And so, without further ado, then we have Mark Kilfoyle as Vesper Varden, a.k.a. Silhouette.
Greetings, everyone.
Paul Fisher as Falwell Stoke, a.k.a. Crash.
Good evening.
Jenny Meltzer as Pyretta Blaze, a.k.a. Red.
Looking forward to it.
And together they are...
inSPECTREs.
inSPECTRE.
Oh,
Do you want to say what that stands for, or you could have that come up later if you like?
nominally, it stands for Infranormal Special Executive for counterintelligence, terrorism, and revenge and extortion. There's an extra and in there, I think, this time, but we're working it out.
Fantastic. So we've got a crew of shadows here that we built in our session 0, but now we're going to begin proper. And the way that we're going to do that is with a new tool that Blades 68 has got in its preview build, which is what's known as a cold open. So, the docks, Daggertown, Twilight. The sky is a psychedelic swirl of colors. On the corner of Beringen Street and Carronade Road stands an old 12-story brick building. A figure is thrown out the top floor window with a muffled bang. They fall backward in a sparkling shower of glass, briefcase in one hand, smoking a little. Which of you is falling through the air to the alley below?
That would be me.
Okay.
Crash.
All right. So, what does Crash look like as you are falling through the air to the alley below?
Crash is fair-haired, blue-eyed, very distinguished-looking gentleman wearing a tweed jacket with patches on the elbows. He's got a pipe in his mouth, horn-rimmed glasses, and a smile on his face.
All right. Well, we'll see how appropriate that smile is as we continue this. On the other side of the broken window, the other two of you stand in a large penthouse loft. It is nearly empty. Some furniture covered in canvas drop cloths, a desk and a typewriter, a broken window, the smoking wreckage of a metal safe, and one more thing. The dead body of Veretta Keel, your contact, killed in the explosion and lying at your feet. See, your crew came to pick up a package from the Keel twins. That's a gang which is led by identical twin sisters who are ruthless gangsters and minor nightlife celebrities. On behalf of Blackthorn Park, the Foreign Intelligence Service of the United Scove Covenant, which is the enemy of the Arcosian Empire, but you know, a job's a job. Your contact with the Keel twins was Veretta Keel herself, only now she's dead. Upon your arrival at the building, she left her thugs downstairs and took you up to the safe alone. They opened the safe and handed over the briefcase within, but then they started to gloat, laughing that you all didn't even know who you were really working for. But she didn't care so long as she was getting paid. Either way, they said that this was the last job she'd be doing before she could finish the sentence, she was proven correct in a much more literal fashion than she intended. The safe exploded. Falwell, who had accepted the briefcase, thrown out the window, as we previously established. Veretta Keel, dead. But the remaining two members of inSPECTRE or inSPECTRE are standing there probably with a confused expression on your faces, I would assume. But maybe you should tell me.
It's a lot.
Sorry, I'm trying to. I don't think I wrote it down. The name of my my companion.
Oh,
I've been like looking for it
it
for the
was
last
Lloyd,
2 minutes.
of course.
Okay,
Yes.
that's right. I don't know where I wrote it down. I'm gonna have to find it.
Yeah, I believe you had it on
Sorry
your
about
sheet. That's okay.
I'll find it.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Um, I'm gonna like walk over to the window, like step over her body,
Mm-hmm.
and just walk over to the window and be all like,
Well, so we're still kind of in a freeze frame at the moment. So how
oh,
about
okay.
just a description for the moment, and then we'll start. Things are going to need to happen pretty fast once time starts moving again. So let's just get a brief description for them first.
Oh, so Pyretta Blaze, also known as Red, is standing there, like looking over her shoulder, talking to nothing,
Mm-hmm.
in a really groovy outfit that has like it's like black, but it has like red flames up the and the boots and everything. And she has like this fiery red hair. But she's also a little bit on the older side. Like she's probably in her, late 40s.
Mm-hmm.
And probably shouldn't be dressing like that at all, but she doesn't care.
Okay. Any other notable features that someone viewing her might notice?
She doesn't think about it often because she just thinks she's normal, but she also has antennae,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
because she is not of this world.
Well, she's from Tycheros,
She is.
right?
She's not.
So, yeah, people from Tycheros are a little weird. Sometimes they have antennae, sometimes they have green skin. It's like people from Tycheros. Anyway, who is she with?
I mean, she's with
The
that guy.
oh, the awkward beginning of the cold opening. She's with well, for lack of a better description, a younger Steve Jobs. If he started at 14 and became the enigmatic person that he is, with a sort of semi-permanent shadow underneath his chin, a 5 o'clock shadow that seems to appear about 10 a.m., but never gets any larger than that. A sort of semi-permanently raised eyebrow and scowl as well, which in this very instant is a slightly more raised and slightly more scowlish expression as he's cowering somewhat after the explosion, behind any heavy furniture he might have found nearby, or Peretta if she happened to be the largest piece of furniture nearby too. And then not exactly surprised so much as annoyed constantly. And in this moment, mostly annoyed with trying to figure out, does Crash fly or is that a problem?
Yeah. So I think what we would see now on screen, so to speak, although I don't have it like literally on the stream set up this way exactly, but we would see three freeze frames of your three characters sort of montaged onto the screen together. Vesper Varden, the operative. Pyretta Blaze, the paranormalist. Falwell Stoke, the intellectual, which I think is fun because, of course, his freeze frame is him literally falling out of a building.
Yes.
And then, inSPECTRE, which, because this is a cold open, we're not going to do it formally. But one of the things that we're going to have ongoing as the campaign continues is we're going to decide what the opening credits of the show are. But this one's a cold open because it's the pilot. So your client, Blackthorn Park, sent you here for a simple job. Pick up a package from a crime boss that they couldn't be seen associating with. But now that boss is dead, and it looks like you did it. You've been set up, but by who? You might have to try and figure that out later, because right now one of you is falling 12 stories straight down, and the rest of you hear 3 things in quick succession. First, the dead body triggers the death radar and a loud klaxon sounds. Section 6 will be here soon. Second, there are sirens in the street below already, and the sound of the front doors being booted open. The bluecoats are here already. Someone must have tipped them off ahead of time. Third, shouts of alarm from the gang members of the Keel twins, who are 1 floor down, and the sound of scraping chairs and running feet as they come to investigate the sound of the explosion. So, I think under the circumstances, it probably does make sense to start with Falwell. Or should I call you Crash?
Well,
Depends on
seeing
how
as
he lands.
if I'm falling well, then you could call me either, seeing as how I just crashed through the glass.
Mm-hmm. So, I would assume, Crash, that you would prefer to not splat on the pavement below and die.
That is correct, yes. That is my preference.
I figured, and so I planned for this. The plan, though, is to have you tell me what you would like to do about it.
Well, I would like to have climbing gear
Mm-hmm.
and have, as part of that climbing gear, one of those little pistols that shoots a grappling hook.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to fire a rope through a window as I'm going past,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and have the other part of the other end of the rope tied under my arms so that I can when the grappling hook pulls taut, I can slam into another window further down on the building and
Mm-hmm.
change my downward momentum into sideways momentum and survive.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably be bruised up, but
That sounds like a great plan. Let's find out if it can happen. Climbing gear is a standard item, which means that you can just decide that you have it with you, but it does count for 2 load.
2.
Yes, I think that under the circumstances of this job, you would have come quiet, which means that all 3 of you have 3 load slots that you can select from. So you would be marking 2 of them.
Yes.
To
Marking
start.
2 out of 3. Yes.
Yes. So you have the climbing gear. Forward thinking of you as it happens, right? You know. So but what I think we still need to establish is A, can you successfully land the grappling hook while you're falling, and then B, can you succeed in crashing through another window and not just splatting yourself against the wall instead of the ground below. So I think we're going to need to make a roll here. You're starting out in surprise, a desperate position. Let me make it very clear. This is a potentially lethal fall, right?
Okay. Yep.
So what that just means, any consequence can be resisted, and so it would just cause you stress. But a level 4 lethal harm, even if you resisted it, would still produce a level 3. So I guess tell me which of your traits you think would be the most applicable for your move here. It sounds very sort of let's see, finessey to me, but I think that certainly you could maybe try to sell me on some of the others. But what I would say is, depending on how effectively you can sell me which skill you're using, I might give you greater or more limited effect.
Um, wrench allows me to turn mechanical and electroplasmic devices to
Mm-hmm.
my advantage.
Oh,
This
okay.
is clearly a mechanical
Yeah, yeah.
device.
The gun part of it for sure, yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So the idea is that, your skill with this mechanism allows you to shoot the grappling hook with enough accuracy and so on
Mm-hmm.
to land you. Okay. So I think then that what I'm going to offer here is a standard effect.
Okay.
So don't roll yet. So because we're learning the system, but this is what we have to kind of get to. So when you do a roll, when anyone's going to do a roll, you will have the starting position, which is either desperate, risky, or controlled. And then you'll have the effect, which will be limited, standard, or great. Right? And I will tell you before you roll ever which position you're in. So you tell me what you want to do and which trait you want to use. You've done that. I tell you for this one are in desperate, standard. Excuse me.
Okay.
Desperate, standard. And so then you can decide to do a couple of other things. One would be you could choose to push yourself, which would give you an additional die. Because right now your wrench skill has 2 dice by it.
Right.
So, which means you would be rolling 2d6. But if you
Mm-hmm.
push yourself by marking 2 stress, you could be rolling 3d6.
I would like to do that.
That seems probably smart under the circumstances. So you're going to be able to push yourself. You can also potentially accept what's known as a devil's bargain. A devil's bargain means you will get, I'm offering you yet another additional bonus die, but
Mhm.
with a consequence. And the consequence will happen regardless of whether your roll is successful or not.
Okay.
So the consequence will happen as a result of you getting to roll the extra die.
Okay.
And so what I would say right now, the consequence would be for this is unrelated to whatever other consequence you might normally have as the result of your roll. But I think what will happen is that you will be your position, like wherever you end up, will be observed by the representative of your client that you were supposed to meet to deliver the briefcase with before everything went terribly, terribly wrong. Or did it? You don't know, really. But the point is, the person that you were planning to meet with the briefcase will know where you are after this move. They will see where you end up.
And my goal was to get the briefcase and deliver it to them.
The job was to the job was to get the briefcase from the Keel twins and deliver it to the agent of the Blackthorn Park agency. But now that there has been an unscheduled explosion and the gang boss is dead and the Bluecoats are here, it seems like the highly secretive, top secret spy agency of a foreign nation might not be super happy to just meet up with you as normal.
Right.
So, yeah. What the devil's bargain would be, they will know exactly where you are and what has happened if you accept the extra die. You can choose to take that or leave it.
Okay. Seeing as how my life is on the line, I'm going to accept it.
Okay. So, what that means then is, and I think that under the circumstances right now, I don't think it makes sense that Red or Silhouette are going to be able to help you. But ordinarily, that would be another possible way you could get a bonus die, if it makes sense fictionally. But right now, you're falling through the thin air, and they're surprised. So I think that you are going to do a wrench roll, which starts at 2d6, and then you get 2 bonus dice because you're pushing yourself. So mark the 2 stress, and then you're taking the devil's bargain, and so now you can do the roll desperate, standard effect, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. And that's 4 dice or 5?
It's 4, but you can
4.
do it through the character sheet, which I'm going
Oh.
to encourage. So you would
Okay.
click wrench, and it will ask you to select the position and the effect, and then if there are any bonus dice.
So it is desperate,
Mm-hmm.
standard, and 2 bonus dice.
Okay. So the way the rolls work in this game are that the highest result of your roll is the result, and with a 6, that means that you have succeeded. In fact, it is you do it. You do the thing.
Okay.
Mhm.
It only shows me 3 dice being rolled.
Did you say 2 bonus dice when you did the roll?
I did.
Okay.
But I mean, I got a 6, so we're fine.
Okay.
I'm fine. But I'm also confused.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna try doing my own roll just to sort of verify for myself how this is going.
Oh, I clicked rec, not wrench.
Oh, well, so there you go. So that explains it.
Got it.
So yes.
All right.
Keep an eye on
Use
that.
your error.
But
Problem
so
exists between
you can
keyboard and chair.
roll one more d6 and because
Okay.
if you get another 6, then it's a crit.
All right. I'm gonna roll my marble die, and I got a 4.
Okay. So that means then 6 is still the result, but that's a great result. So just to, if you all, as players, are wanting to, understand kind of how this works, referring to the results, the Blades in the Dark original book is what has this on page 23. So, in a desperate roll, which you were, first of all, you get to mark an XP for doing a desperate roll.
Mm-hmm.
But also, on a desperate roll, on a 6, you do it. So, as you described, you fire your grappling hook, you pull it from your within your breast pocket.
Yes.
And you fire the grappling hook. It connects with the corner of the rooftop, allowing you to target your swing. What floor do you swing in and smash through the window?
I will go in through the 4th floor.
Okay, great. So the 4th floor, and in fact, actually, because I think you got a 6, the window was even open.
Nice.
Yes. So you manage to tumble into this now. This is an empty, abandoned building. It's used for these sorts of arrangements. Like there's only, I think, actual operators on that first floor. Of course, that business is currently being having their door kicked in by the Bluecoats. So they are now 3 floors below you on the first floor. And then up on the 11th floor, the Keel Twin gang, the thugs, are going to run up to see what's going on with the explosion they just heard. So, Silhouette, Red, yeah, your contact is dead. Your crash just went out the window. What would you like to do?
We should probably try to get out of here. I'll look down, look out the window, and see where Crash landed.
I think perhaps you catch just the very end of his arc in through the lower window.
Very suave.
I don't know how he plans that far in advance. Must ask him about that, because if he knew it was going to explode, that would be an important piece of detail to tell the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a
I
way
don't know,
down?
but we need to get out. Are there is there a secondary door?
There's a
Like-
climbing rope outside the window going down.
Well, there is that. The other thing that I'm going to establish right now, and I'll just I will tell you about these things, is I'm going to establish a couple of clocks, and I will put them on the map that you're all seeing. I'm not showing the map on the stream right now because we're still just in the single location focused on you. But let's take a couple of these clocks. And I'm setting a 2 4 clocks and 2 6 clocks. The first 4 o'clock is for the Keel Twin Goons. And this clock is basically like you are going to have to get enough progress marks on that clock to fill it in order to have dealt with that issue, right? And you can do that however you like. The results will fill the clock based on how successful you are of whatever it is that you try to do, right? And so that's how that's going to work. So the Keel Twin Goons, so that we've got a 4 o'clock here, and then we've got a 6 o'clock for the blue coats. And then you also are going to have a 4 o'clock for Section 6, which will be arriving following the death klaxons. Because in this setting, in this world, anyone who dies is going to spawn what's known as a resonance echo. Now, in the old superstitious times, they might have called that a ghost, but now we know science and know that they're actually resonance echoes that form from dead bodies and haunt the living and have unfinished business and so on.
Some people know that.
Yeah.
Some.
But so the point is that when someone dies, the death klaxon sounds, Section 6 shows up to claim the body so that it can be properly and respectfully processed at a fusion plant. And that is how we keep the city safe from resonance echoes and also power the city. So so Section 6 is showing up as well with another 4 o'clock. And then your client is going to be another 6 o'clock. Because as I established, your client, as you would have already known in character, already pretty paranoid and skittish about this job. So the fact that, this is your world's equivalent of the KGB that you're working for here, that you took this job for, right? And now there's been sudden explosions and a lot of unexpected attention. Just by reputation alone, you think it's quite possible that they might decide you are now loose ends. Maybe they do still want the briefcase. Unclear. You'll have to figure that out. So we have 2 4 o'clocks, 2 6 o'clocks. So right now, the Keel Twin Goons are charging up the stairs to your position, Vesper and Pyretta. You know what? Maybe we should settle, just tell me as a custom for this game, should I call you your code names when you're on a job and then your character names otherwise?
Sure.
Yes.
I think that makes sense to me. So, Silhouette and Red then.
A little bit about this building. Was it an office building?
It was basically it's like an apartment building, but largely abandoned.
Okay.
Because what you're in is a penthouse loft.
Okay. All right.
Through the window, the sounds of the death klaxon and the blue coat sirens have replaced what had been the activity of sort of like a busy street below, because there's a lot of, this is Dagger Town. It's part of the city where a lot of the folks from the Dagger Isles live. and it seems like every day there's a new festival of some kind, and there's just a lot of like street food and carts and vendors and so on down there on the streets. So that's going on too. Giving you lots of information. Obviously, we're still kind of in like bullet time here, because what we actually, the characters are going to need is a quick decision of one kind or another. Or not. You could just stand there until
Is
they
there
come
another
up. Yeah.
door? Like, is there an like other than the one that we came in originally? Is there another exit from this
So
room?
where you are right now is the penthouse. So that means that there's the main stairwell for the building itself, right? And that you like the stairwell and like elevator lobby that goes right into the penthouse. So they are coming up through the stairwell. There is an elevator. The penthouse that you're in does not have any other exits, but it has its own like set of rooms, right? Like there's the big living room, and then there's the master bedroom, and then there's the bathroom, and so on, right? So you are in a loft where it's mostly open. There's not like another, so there's the stairs where they're coming, and then the elevator.
Uh-huh.
You might be able to use the elevator if you were lucky to get past the thugs, but also the bluecoats are downstairs.
Well, first we've got to block this door.
Mm-hmm.
Not let them get easy access.
Okay.
Drag a couch or something that can wedge underneath the door, and
Love
a
it.
chair.
Love it. Okay, great. So the goal is to barricade the door. What trait would you like to use? What skill to?
I can never find the definition of the trait, so I'm not really sure.
Okay,
hover over.
Hover over them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, there's a little tooltip. So, like for
There we
example,
go.
what I would say probably, skirmish is like fighting. Wreck is would probably be wreck a place, item, or obstacle with savage force or carefully applied sabotage. Finesse is So I think
Lock picking type stuff.
About the best I could do is wrench in this circumstance.
Yeah, I think wrench. Is to create, modify, disable, or repair. And so I think under this circumstance, the goal being to blockade the door with it, I think that makes sense to me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like modifying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm going to go at that. I don't know if I have
So
anything in particular.
You're going to, so with wrench is what you said you were going to use, right? So
Yes.
yeah. So you are in a risky position. I think
Okay.
you would be looking for a standard effect in this, so risky standard, and so you can choose to push yourself if you like. And if you're interested in a devil's bargain, I could offer one to you.
I think I'll definitely push myself. That was 2 stress.
Yes, you mark 2 stress.
Okay. That's another die.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll hold on there on the devil's bargain now.
Great. So you have one dot in.
Yep.
Wait, no. So in wrench. So with pushing yourself, you'll be rolling 2 dice. So you'll click wrench. You'll say risky standard, and then add 1 bonus die for pushing yourself. And look at that, another 6. I think, you are able to expertly slide that sofa into position where just as the doorknobs are starting to rattle, you place the sofa in front of it and block the door so that the thugs are not able to get inside. Let me just double check, because there's a general rule for how many items you fill on a clock with a given result. Let's see. I'm going to find that real quick. I believe that you're going to get progress clocks in play. let's see. I think that with a 6, you're getting two ticks. And that's what I'll just say for right now, and we could talk more about it later. So the Keel Twin Goons, you've now filled that clock to halfway. So right now, you've prevented them from getting in immediately, but they are not done trying to deal with you. And in fact, the fact that it's barricaded and there was an explosion means you think it's probably even odds whether they decide to just start shooting through the door.
We bought a little time, but not much.
Yeah.
Is the elevator, can we see if it's at this floor or not?
I think that you came up the elevator, and so it would have stayed at this floor.
All right.
So in the other rooms, I'd like to quickly move between them to see the windows and if there are any that lower, like if we were to take the rope that Crash left from the window, and move it to like an alley.
Okay, I'm going to just briefly retcon it that you came up to the 11th floor where her gang was waiting, and then you and your contact, the late Miss Keel, together came up to the 12th floor alone. And so I think the elevator is actually at the 11th floor. But you wanted to go look out the window and see if you could take the grappling hook that Falwell used and reposition it.
Like to another window that maybe lowers into a more obscure area, like an alleyway or something where all the action isn't gathering.
Right. So I think that you probably can, or at least you can certainly try, right? That would be what you would like to do. So what skill would you like to try to use to do that?
I would like to use like the finesse skill under prowess.
I was also going to suggest that you could potentially use study to to choose the best place for it.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, great. I think that will give you. I think that will give you a potential for great effect. So you're risky but great, because if you manage to succeed at this, not only will you be, descending to a potentially safe area that's out of sight, but also that when you could potentially have placed the grappling hook in such a way that it will not be obvious to the thugs where you even went. Right?
Okay.
They might see the broken windows, but then just looking out the window, they won't necessarily know. Because the broken window from the explosion won't be the one that you went out.
You're blurred out.
I am? What?
I don't know.
I
what
don't
he's
think he's
talking
talking.
I think he's
Sorry,
talking
I
to
was
his
talking
daughter.
to someone else.
Yes. Please try to mute yourself if possible under those circumstances, just because it's confusing otherwise. So I think study makes sense. So you would be doing risky, great. And I think that if you can push yourself if you like. The one other thing that I'll remind everyone is that you can use your keys. Those don't give you bonus dice or anything, but if you feel like you are especially role-playing one of your keys, you can claim that and mark an XP for it. And you can do that once per session, not once per key, but just one time per session, just reminding you of that mechanic.
Okay. So that gives me, I get one. Is it one die?
So because you have 2 in study, you'll be starting with 2.
Okay.
And then if you push yourself, it would be 1 more. So it depends on whether you want to push yourself or not.
I will bet you get 2 stress for that, right?
Correct.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay, great. So you would be doing, study with risky, great, and then 1 bonus die.
All right.
Look
Oh,
at
wow.
that.
Why did
I
it
told
roll
you
so
great
many?
effect.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Why?
Wow.
So why did it roll so many? It should
I
have
don't know.
been. Yeah, I wonder if we had a little bit of a glitch there because it should have been. I'm just going to again like try my own uh I can also choose to roll from your sheet.
Uh-huh.
So I'm doing that once just to see what happens when I do it. Yeah, and see it only did 3 for me. So we'll
Oh,
say that we'll use the first 3 for yours. So I wonder if you just accidentally pulled down more than 1 for the bonus dice pull down.
maybe.
But in any case, the first 3 though include 2 6s, which is a crit on an already great effect. So first of all, you have entirely flummoxed these goons. They are completely like they managed to break down the door, but by the time they have, because of a crit result here, both Red and Silhouette have already gone out the window with the on the different side of the building. You're sliding down into shadow. The psychedelic colors still swirling in the sky as we watch you descending this rope. And the way you have placed the grappling hook is such that as the goons burst in, they are just utterly dumbstruck. The safe is blown up. Their boss is dead. The 3 of you are just gone. And when they look out the window to see if you went that way, they don't see anything. They
Maybe we
are
blew up.
utterly stumped. You have vanished without a trace as far as they're concerned. This, I should add, does resolve the threat for the moment. It does not mean that, for example, Beretta Keel's twin sister won't still be looking for you. But that's a longer term threat. So let me just go ahead and close out the Keel Twin Goons clock. While Silhouette and Red are now descending into a quiet, shadowy, blind alley nearby the building, out of sight of anyone as a result of this crit. Falwell, you are still on the 4th floor, hearing the Bluecoats starting to stomp up the stairs and their sirens. You hear the death klaxon indicating that Section 6 is going to be here at any moment. You also maybe have an idea, just like the hairs on the back of your neck are suggesting, that someone saw you swing into that 4th floor window.
All right. Well, first thing I need to do is, follow our plan. If we get separated,
Mm-hmm.
I need to get out, which means getting down.
Yeah. One other mechanic that I will remind everybody of too is the flashback, which basically you can say, for example, the way you were just saying is like our plan. You can sort of flashback of, hey, everybody, remember, if anything goes wrong, here's what we do, right? Like you can do that sort of thing.
Right.
And then depending on how effective I think that flashback will be in solving your problem, I will basically charge you some amount of stress and maybe have to make a roll to get it to work. But that is another option.
Well, the plan was, if we get separated, to meet at a hole in the wall diner that's about 2 blocks away.
Okay, yeah. That doesn't even count as a flashback, really. You can you can just declare that that's true. I don't like that's fine because it doesn't solve your problem right now. It just means that you had agreed on a rendezvous point.
Could I actually do a flashback? I was thinking about this at the time because I didn't get to say it, but I would like to have, right before we escaped or whatever, found a way to hide her body so that even she isn't in there when they like come busting in. They're like, what? Like, it's somewhere in that penthouse, but just so that it's not like right there.
Okay.
Is that a possibility?
I'm going to say yes, but the way that that's going to work is that because it was just sort of extra time, you would have been doing it in a hurry. I'm going to have you do a roll let's call it a finesse roll, or rather, I guess you tell me what skill you would like, but you're going to do a roll to basically say how much extra stress did you have to take to get that done in the short amount of time when you were already doing the other stuff.
I was gonna say finesse.
Yeah, finesse works.
Yeah. Yep.
And so basically, this was a also risky, risky standard move, and you can push yourself for Devil's Bargain as normal. But what the result that you would be looking for here is how much stress it costs you to do this.
Since I'm probably gonna take stress, I'm just gonna go with my 2 dice.
Right. And I think standard, it should be understood here that what we're talking about here is only a temporary thing, right? Like they're gonna
Right.
like, if nothing else, Section 6 is going to be able to home right in on the body wherever it is.
Yep.
But yes, so go ahead and make your roll, and we'll decide how much stress that cost you. Well, see, that's a 3, you see, and
Yeah.
a 3 is not good. That's
Not
a
pretty
bad.
good.
That's a bad result, you see.
Yeah.
So in a if I need to remember what page that one table is, because it's just so handy for quick reference, unless I don't know the page it's on. Right. So with the risky, it's a 1, 2, 3, things go badly. You suffer harm, a complication occurs, you would end up in a desperate position, or you lose the opportunity. So that's basically like a failure. But what we actually said would be that it's just how much stress. So I
Yeah.
think what that's going to cost you is 2 stress
Okay.
to have done that, and that's still just knowing that it's just buying yourself just a little bit more time, because they won't immediately assume that she's dead,
Right.
or they won't.
That was the plan.
Yeah. So okay, so you can go ahead and mark another 2 stress, but you know that at least those goons and anyone else who goes up to that penthouse won't immediately know where she is. Where is she? Where did you put her?
There was this, like, along the wall. It was
Mhm.
sort of like a bay window type shelf
Mm-hmm.
that, like there's pillows on top of it and everything. It just looked like, like a normal outcropped shelf,
Okay.
and it actually opened up, and we
Oh,
just
okay.
kind of like flumped her in there.
So it's just like normally you'd like there would store towels or something in there, right?
Yeah.
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 All right.
Throw pillows. It's like we
Okay.
put some
Great.
throw pillows on top of her. Just close it.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I am going to actually. Yeah, no, never mind. It was a failure. I was considering giving you a tick on the Section 6 clock for making their job harder, but you rolled a failure. You don't get to add anything to their clock for that. Okay, great though. So, sorry, back to Crash. You're on the 4th floor.
Yep.
You had agreed with your friends. You know where to meet them if you can all get out of the building. You still have the briefcase, although it is somewhat scorched.
Mm-hmm.
It is locked at the moment. But I think more pressing is that you can hear the heavy stomps of the bluecoats on their way up, and you can hear them doing their hut, 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 clear, clear stuff. So
they're clearing all the floors.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to see if I can find an express exit by means of the elevator shaft.
Okay. Aha. All right. Okay. So you're thinking you could force the doors and then descend through the shaft
Yeah.
is the goal. Okay.
Yes.
Great. What skill are you thinking might come in handy for that? Given that you have used your climbing gear, it is no longer available to you.
Yes. Well, I guess wreck might get me through the door.
Yeah, I mean, potentially could, for sure.
Yep.
So you could choose any skill, but I might say that that's going to be more or less effective depending on what you're trying to do, right?
Okay.
So you're in a risky position right now
Oh,
because you've got a threat coming.
I'm going to use wrench
Uh-huh.
to modify the door
Okay.
so that I can get through it and then jump onto the ladder or,
Sure.
the cable or whatever. I'd prefer
Okay.
there to be a ladder there.
Well, I think that seems like it's a standard sort of there's a maintenance
A
ladder in
maintenance
an elevator
ladder.
shaft. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's really actually true, but it's true in the movie, so it counts.
I'll take it.
Well, maybe what we'll actually find out though is what the dice tell us, right?
Yes.
So I think that you are in a risky position. I think that this is theoretically something that you would be able to hypothetically do if you could get the doors open and then slip inside, and that there might be a ladder in there, right? So I'm going to say this is risky standard.
Risky standard. All right. And I think I'm not going to need any bonus dice.
Okay. Well, so risky standard, and your highest roll was a 4, which means that with a 4 and 5, you do it, but there's a consequence. You suffer harm, or a complication occurs. You have a reduced effect, or you end up in a desperate position. And so I think what happens is that because this is to bypass the blue coats, you are going to get 1 tick of that clock. So you're made progress there, right? So you're now at 1 of 5 on that. And you've bypassed some of them in representing that. But what happens is that as you sort of do that, like fireman slide down the ladder, you put your feet on the sides of it and kind of do that thing, you get down to the ground floor level where you see that the doors there are open and there's a bunch more blue coats in the lobby. And I don't think they have spotted you yet, but there's a bunch of them and they're right there. So I think whatever your next action is going to be in a desperate position.
Okay.
So, I think that we've got Silhouette and Red climbing down the outside. I think you're probably getting close to the bottom before, and you're still you're pretty sure that you've got that under control. But I think you're also aware that your colleague Crash might be in more trouble. So, who's got a bright idea?
Oh boy.
While you're thinking of your idea, Red is like arguing with nothing. Like, just go check on him. I mean, it's not that hard. You could totally do it. I'm not saying that you have to get him out of trouble. I just need to know like what's going on.
So are you thinking that you want to send your Lloyd the Weird Goblin for
Yep.
your
My invisible goblin.
Yes, because as the paranormalist, you have a what? Let's see, what was it called? You
He's
have
an expert
basically
paranormal assistant.
yes, a loyal resonance or not a resonance echo, but maybe you've got it is a loyal resonance entity, which doesn't necessarily mean an echo is a ghost of a person. An entity could be a number of different things. And so what you've got is an invisible goblin that only you can see in here. But yes, so you are sending him to what? What is he supposed? He's supposed to see how Crash is doing and report back?
Yeah, like just to kind of get a beat on the situation, find out what's happening, like where he is, like so what kind of trouble he might be in.
Is he actually going to try to physically go find him, or is he like scrying on him or something like that? Like what
I don't know.
what do
That's
you
a good
envision
question.
him doing? Because he is a paranormal assistant. I would say if he is literally just going to try to run through the building looking for him, obviously that seems like it would be pretty difficult, and his expertise as a paranormal assistant would probably not be especially
Very
helpful.
helpful.
But
Yeah.
if he does have some sort of other ability with the paranormal that you think would make him useful in this case, let me know. He's not going to be all powerful, but this all plays into how I determine how effective he might be.
How do we know if he has special powers?
Well, so basically, this is something you have as part of your playbook, right? So they definitely can do some things, right? They're an expert in a paranormal assistance. In fact, actually, I believe. Let's see if there's a specific thing that talks about their different. Yeah, so I don't think there's any specific rule that says what does it mean that they're a paranormal assistant, like what can they do. But I think that means that we decide, and it's just kind of fictionally appropriate. So you decided that you were asking him to help. What did you have in mind?
I mean, you brought up scrying, and that actually seems like it would be super helpful, like super
Yeah,
useful.
yeah.
Because he's a goblin, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
maybe he has those kinds of abilities.
Right. Because what you decided, you picked that he has two edges and two flaws. He is independent, he is loyal, but he is also superstitious, and he is principled.
Yeah.
And so
And I think like scrying might be a part of like his superstition is like maybe there's some kind of
well, I
like
think
if he
some of this
scries.
will come into play to help us interpret like the results of what happens,
Mhm.
right? But if the idea is he's just supposed to try to get a mental picture of where Crash is and then tell you, I think that that's something he can certainly try to do, right?
Okay.
And I think it would apply to his expertise, which means though that he is going to roll 1d6, right? Because normally your crew is tier 0, and when he's using his expertise, he's going to roll with the tier of your tier +1. So normally if you were rolling 0, you would roll 2 and have to take the lower. But with rolling 1, he can roll just 1d6 and see how it goes. But you can push on his behalf, or you could help on his behalf. You could also, of course, take a devil's bargain.
So he has 1 bonus die because of his expertise. Is that what you said?
Right, but that brings him up from 0.
So it's just a roll 1 roll.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think it would be funnier if he didn't push himself.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, we just kind of go with it.
He's your cohort, so it would still be your stress.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
No.
Wow. Okay, you got snake eyes. Actually, so it looks like technically what it looks like it did is it did the 0 roll, right? Like it didn't do the bonus, which means that it rolled 2, and it's assuming you would be taking the lower of the 2. That's how it's doing that roll. So that's fine, because it would just mean that if we had done it the way we intended, we would have had just the 1, but then it would still be a 1, right? So I think what actually happens here, I'm afraid, is that so as we agreed, I'm not going to speak for him, but I think what happens is that you ask him if he can get a mental picture of where Crash is, and he holds up his fingers to his temples, and he concentrates really hard, and then his nose starts to bleed, and his eyes roll back, and he faints.
Oh no.
And so he is actually going to take a point of harm. He is weakened for the moment because that didn't work.
Okay.
Yes. So that is the consequence of that failure for right now, is that that he is weakened, and you still don't know how Crash is doing.
Okay.
And Silhouette, Red is just over there like talking to herself again.
As usual. All right. Just stick to the exit plan and get to the vehicle. I'll see what I can do
Okay.
about Crash. I'm
Oh,
gonna draw
you're
out.
telling Red to do
I'm
that.
telling Red
Okay.
this,
Okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
I'm gonna pull out a silenced shooter.
Okay. Is that a
Is
standard item?
it is
Or you have it as a
I have it as a as an item
operative, right?
I can
Operative
use.
special item, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll pull out that,
Great.
and I'm gonna we're down on the ground level, right?
Well, so you could like you tell me because it was a crit result,
Okay.
so you could have gotten all the way down to the ground if that's what you want.
Yeah, I think that he'll be getting down to the ground and start to circle around to the front of the building to see if he can see in through that window.
Mm-hmm.
And if he sees Crash being confronted by people, he'll start to pull them
What I'm going
down.
to suggest here is that the nature of this system is such that there's a little bit less of I'm going to roll a perception check to see what I
Mhm.
can see. And then if based on the result of that, I might do another thing. You know what I mean? So we're a little bit sort of like a little bit more abstracted and less about like individual roles for all those things.
Yep.
So I guess what I would say is like, tell me what it is that you would like to do. And then what
So
skill you think. So like, what is it that you would like to have happen?
yeah. Um,
Because what you know is he's probably down around here somewhere. There's a bunch of blue coats. What is it that you're hoping to produce with whatever you do?
hoping to provide essentially cover fire so
Okay.
that Crash can get out.
Okay, so you could certainly like a distraction to
Yeah.
pull their attention. Okay, fantastic. Um, I'm going to call this desperate for Falwell, right? Which is desperate in the sense that your role is kind of desperate too as a result, right? So you're making the desperate roll, but it's because he is like imminently in trouble. You don't even necessarily know that, but you're trying to attract the attention of the Bluecoats, which of course will bring them, bring their attention to you potentially,
Yep.
depending on how this goes. So, what is it that you think you're doing to attract all of their attention?
Uh, that's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
It's less about hurting people and more about distracting people.
Yeah.
Um, just trying to
You claimed the
match
silence
these.
shooter already, but you don't you can undo that because you haven't used it for anything yet. If you think of something else you would want instead.
That one works the best
Okay.
because the shots seem to come from nowhere, so it's a
Mm-hmm.
better distraction.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess this is going to be finesse,
Okay.
which is not great for me.
Well, so I think that um, if what you're trying to do is like I'm thinking of like Hitman games. Like, are you trying to shoot the fire extinguisher or something like that?
Essentially, yeah, make some
Okay.
noise in that room so they have to
Mm-hmm.
take cover, giving him a chance
Yeah.
to get out.
I would
Assuming he's still there.
I think under the circumstances, I would probably call that a hunt, or even potentially a study,
Oh,
or
hunt.
hunt
Right.
or like any of those. Like, but I mean, finesse, I think would be just like literally if you were just saying like having to make a very difficult shot. But if the
Okay.
idea is I want to figure out what I should shoot in order to produce the distraction.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Attack with precision from a distance. That would be hunt.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So, mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
I
So
max stress is the number of stress boxes we do have on the sheet, right? That's already pre-calculated or the same for everyone?
yes, yeah.
Okay.
It's the same for everybody, although eventually some things can potentially change it. But
Oh, yeah.
so you would be desperate. What is it? So like, we can paint a mental picture. So like, if you want to sell me on there being something in the room that you are going to shoot to be this distraction, like I mentioned a fire extinguisher, but it could be something else. But just like paint me a picture, and I'll veto it if I feel like I need to. But otherwise, I want to give you license to invent details that we have not established.
Okay. How about there's a chandelier in the room, and I'm just
Okay.
picking off the light bulb so people are seeing explosions from above, not knowing where they're coming from,
Okay.
which will cause
Okay.
them to flinch and hunch and hopefully again look the other way.
I only on the sense of so one of the things that we didn't actually go over, but I think I'm going to just briefly do now because it's fun and it plays into what I was about to suggest. There's player principles for this. Where is that page? Player principles. Um, that's not what I wanted. Okay. Well, I'm having having difficulty finding the page, but the big piece that I wanted to get at is I want to encourage maximalism. Oh, here it is. It's player advice on page 254 and 255 of this game, and so the player advice that it says is number 1: go in, boots and all. The campaign will be shorter than you think. Make stuff happen now. Don't wait. Pull the trigger. 2: dig the other characters. Dial in on other player characters. Pay attention to their narrative and get your own character involved. Be their fan or be their foil. 3: make the GM sweat. Think of the game like a physics toy and push the levers you have as hard as you can just to see what happens. Rattle the cage, jump out the window, don't look down, move so fast the GM can't keep up. 4: sell the punches. Always choose the bigger reaction. Let your character be changed by the world and the other characters. Let them be upset, emotional, irrational. 5: fuck around and find out. If your character dies, they can come back as an echo. If they have to retire, you can always make a new character. The crew cannot be stopped. Act first and think later. Make bad decisions. Let the chips fall where they may. And 6: learn to stop worrying and love consequences. Most roles are going to have consequences. Wouldn't it be boring to succeed all the time? Embrace consequences and create consequences, then roll them up in a giant ball of chaos and surf on top. So what I was going to say is, if you're deciding that there is a chandelier in the room, don't just shoot the bulbs out. Make that fucker crash.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we'll get the engagement music. The heavy guitar kicks in as he walks around with the
Bum,
silenced
bum, bum, bum,
weapon
bum,
coming around. Plack,
bum,
plack,
bum, bum,
plack,
bum.
plack, plack. Splash as the giant thing. Hopefully,
Great.
we'll
Well,
see if
we'll
this succeeds or
see.
not.
Now, yeah.
That's what
So
we'll hope.
now we know what we're trying to accomplish distraction via hunt by shooting the chandelier down. So that is a hunt roll, which you start with a 1. You can push yourself if you choose.
I will push myself.
And I can offer you a devil's bargain if you're interested.
Sure.
Yeah. I think I will give you the same devil's bargain that I gave to Falwell earlier, which is that the client will know where you are.
Okay.
Red, in the meantime, are you running ahead to the rendezvous point as Silhouette suggested, or are you're going to do your own thing which we'll resolve in a moment?
I will take a second to try to figure out why my goblin friend is down.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I will scoop him up.
So let's resolve Silhouette's move first, and then we can decide what you're up to. So Silhouette, that's the devil's bargain. So that means that if you're pushing yourself and you accept that, then you would be rolling 3. So you would be doing hunt at desperate standard with 1 bonus die, or rather 2 bonus dice. Oh boy. Oh boy. So that's a maximum, that's a highest result of 3, which is, as we had just established recently, bad. Also, this is a desperate roll. So it is, on a 1 to 3, it's the worst outcome. You suffer severe harm, a serious complication occurs, or you lose this opportunity for action. In this case, I think what had happened is that, gosh, it was primarily desperate for Falwell.
Did I shoot him?
I think what actually sounds more fun to me is that you shoot out the chandelier it crashes to the ground, not hitting any of the blue coats, and they are so startled by the sudden noise that they open fire. And so I think that that is going to be, let's see, the blue coats are, I believe, tier 2, which means that I think you would have a, because you're just right in a position for this, I think that you would be having a level 2 harm coming at you. Actually, let's go ahead and call it a level 3 harm. They're shooting at you, Crash. So this means that you can choose to either accept the level 3 harm of perforated, you know, but what you could also do is choose to resist it and change it down to a level 2 harm, which would probably be like flesh wound. And then you can also resist again and bring it down to a level 1, which would be like grazed and so on, right?
Okay.
But to resist costs stress, right?
Yep.
So the way that that works is that they're opening fire on you. They're bam, 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 bam. They're shooting right at you. You're, I think, going to be doing a resolve resistance roll.
Okay.
Which is only a 1d6 for you.
Mm-hmm.
The way the resistance roll works is the amount of stress this will cost you is 6 minus the result, the highest result of your dice.
Wow.
Yeah. So theoretically, you could roll a 6 and have it cost 0 stress, right?
Right.
But if you roll a 1, it costs 5 stress. And that's just to reduce it one time.
Yeah, I'm going to try reducing it one time.
Well, you can choose after you do it the one time if you want to do it again as well. But certainly we're starting with level 3 to level 2. So let's get your first resolve resistance roll here.
Bonus dice.
There's no pushing yourself or anything like that for these. It's just a straight up roll. Look at that. That's a 6. So that means that is when you roll, let's see, when you 6 minus the high result. So when you roll a critical on a resistance, which you didn't do, you got a 6, which is the best regular result. If you were rolling more than one die and you got 2 6s, that would be a critical. So you don't clear a stress, but that first reduction does not cost you any stress.
I would like to do it again.
I can't think of any reason why you wouldn't. Under the circumstances. And so go ahead and do another resolve resistance roll here. Okay, 4. So that means that you have, we reduced this down to a level 1 harm. So on your little sheet here, you've got a place for a level 1 harm, and we'll put grazed there. And so that basically is how like harm works. And unlike in the original Blades in the Dark, harm does not introduce any specific mechanical effects now. What it does is it's something that I take into account when deciding your position and result effect when you're doing rolls, is I take into account, well, if you're grazed, would that make it harder to do a certain thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so in this case, I think grazed is probably not going to bother you too very much. Then when you try to heal things later, there's other ways that it can cause complications later. But right now, it's just going to play into whether or not I think it affects your position or result. So in any case, the blue coats have just shot up this whole room, including the elevator lobby. But what did you do? You were that quick and able to sort of like duck behind into cover and not to take all of this fire? Is that what happened?
I would like to have been climbing out of the elevator doors and been running away from them down the
Well,
hallway
so
as
we
they were
we can
shooting
do
at
that
me.
with your next roll. So
Okay.
I think that this first moment was literally you were standing there and they had just like started to turn to look at you and then they got scared by a chandelier falling and just opened fire. So that's what has happened. But
Right.
you can now choose to climb out and like so I think you maybe just like ducked behind
Yeah, I just
um
ducked behind the edge.
yeah, where were you grazed by the bullet? Like so where's your
Uh, Along the side,
hmm.
along the side by the ribs.
Okay. That's a close one. So
Yep.
now you would like to try to basically just skedaddle, right?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Um, I think just like climbing and running quickly. I mean, I think to start, that seems like it might be a finesse type of role, but like tell me, because you always get to choose which skill you want to use. It's just
Mm-hmm.
that depending on what you choose, I might say that's going to be more or less effective.
Um, Hold on one sec.
Mhm.
Um,
Because right now, finesse, I think, is probably not one of your best skills.
no, it's
But
not.
it's also like we want to encourage you to make moves in that circumstance, right? So you have 0 dots, so you would be rolling 2 dice and taking the lower result. But just like when you roll a desperate move, when you roll a 0 die move, you also get to mark XP.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess,
Yeah. This one is risky because they all just like unloaded on everywhere. So
yeah.
um,
So,
so it's not desperate in the same way, but yeah.
yeah, I guess I, I mean, like,
Yeah.
finesse doesn't seem to handle runaway really well.
I mean,
But
it's
I think
the
it's kind of the best option.
well, prowl could also be
Yeah,
an
which I
option
also
there.
have 0 in.
Right. So prowl, we might normally think of that when you're being stealthy, but that's kind of what you're doing, right? It's just,
Yeah.
you're getting away as opposed to hiding.
Yeah.
Prowl about unseen, traverse obstacles, climb, swim, run, jump, and tumble.
Um, yeah. Or
Hmm.
I could have a hand cannon
You also have a
and use
dot in.
skirmish.
Well, yeah. I mean, or for that matter, like even if you like, if you could certainly do it with your hand cannon. You could skirmish could also just like be fisticuffs, just like charging through them. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, you can absolutely shoot. I'm not going to tell you not to do that. You guys are all playing a bunch of criminals. Certainly, if you kill a blue coat, that's going to raise the heat.
Okay.
In the aftermath.
I'm
So,
just trying to make them duck. Well, you know what?
uh
I'm just going to use skirmish
huh.
and try and bowl them over.
Okay, you're just like they were startled. They didn't even really understand what was happening. They all just
Right.
fired all of the guns out of their revolvers, and you're just going to charge through them, or at least
Yep.
that's the idea. Okay,
That's
great.
the idea.
So that's going to be risky. I think there's a bunch, so I'm going to call that limited in the sense that you can sort of get through this immediate wave, but then there's a lot of them, and they're still all just kind of right there. You could just sort
Mm-hmm.
of be on the other side of where they all are, right? Does that make
Yep.
sense? So I'll call that risky limited.
Okay. And I'm going to push myself.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So yeah.
Oh, snake eyes.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
didn't go your way.
oh, I just,
No. Yeah.
yeah.
So I think you slip on chandelier debris and you face plant right at their feet. And so I think that I'm going to go ahead and give you a level 1 harm of bruised ego, wounded pride,
Okay.
which you can resist if you want, but it's potentially stress. But you can
Um,
have 2 level 1s, but you can't have
okay.
more than that.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So yeah, so that was embarrassing. um, So, Red, your colleagues are not doing great at the moment. Do you have any ideas?
I mean, I might have to do a seance or something because they sound like they're
Well,
about to die.
I mean, you tell me how you would like to do this, because you still got a lot of these clocks that are need filling here. You've dealt with the goons, but the blue coats have got a ways to go. Section 6 is going to be here any minute, and you don't even know what the client's thinking right now.
Yeah. I I am trying to figure out I can so this sound that goes up, like the alert that
Mm-hmm.
someone has died,
Yeah.
is there any way to paranormally interfere with that?
That seems like an excellent question that we could have the dice decide.
Yeah.
Because it's certainly related paranormal technology for sure.
Uh-huh.
So I
Uh,
would say whether or not you can successfully do it is something that we use a move to do. But I would definitely say that that is something that is theoretically doable.
I would like to attune
Mm-hmm.
and use my psychic amplification device
Yeah.
that I have with me
That's one of
to
your special items?
yes.
Okay, cool.
And I would like to use it to interfere with the signal somehow
Okay.
so that it tricks them into believing that maybe there wasn't a body,
Oh,
that maybe there was a
interesting. Okay.
something wrong with the
Yeah.
yeah.
So let's see, your psychic amplification device, which costs 0 load, so you don't have to mark any load to just declare that you had that.
Yep.
Um, it focuses the wearer's paranormal abilities, also affords a measure of protection against paranormal assault. What does yours look like? Is it a helmet, a circlet, a glove, or a gauntlet, or something else?
I think it is it's like a little like an earpiece
Mm-hmm.
kind of that like I can just slip onto my ear
Yeah.
and hear everything in the
Okay.
psychic realm.
Cool, cool. So I think that what that is going to mean is that for right now, you are in a safe position. Nobody knows where you are right now. So I'm going to say this is a controlled role for you,
Okay.
right? And then I think further, you're trying to just make the klaxons basically shut off, like oh wait, this was a false alarm.
Right.
Okay. So this doesn't help with the blue coats, but it maybe delays or deals with Section 6. So I'm
Right.
going to say your psychic amplification device could potentially give you standard effect here.
Okay.
Because otherwise, I think just, that's what lets you, because this is like a fancy, sophisticated system. And so it would have been limited effect, except that because of your device, you can get standard. So controlled standard, attune roll.
Okay. Man, I'm scared. I was thinking about pushing myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've already got like 4 stress.
Well, I mean,
I'm gonna do it anyway.
yeah.
I'm gonna get
You're
that
gonna
extra
indulge in
die.
your vice to blow off stress later in the downtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to my crazy place.
Okay.
All right. So that gives me 1 extra. A
Okay.
5 is my highest.
Okay, a 5 is pretty good. So I think that what that is going to do is you're going to get the standard effect that you I'm going to yeah, so what that does is, at least for right now, you're going to get 2 ticks of the Section 6 clock. I'm going to Um yeah, so you filled that one halfway. Like it's stopped, but they were on the way. They might still feel like they need to come in and check, like, well, why did it go off, right? They
Right.
might, but so it's certainly you've disrupted what they think is happening.
Good. Good.
I, hmm?
I said good. Good.
Yeah, I was going to say if you have an idea for a consequence, I would be interested. I could certainly come up with one. I'm just saying, like
I mean,
always want folks if you ever have an idea for what you think the consequence ought to be, always tell me.
I mean, I think that, on a
You were
psychic level, that probably hurt a little bit.
Yeah. Well, so you were on a controlled roll here. So what that actually means here with a 5 is that I can actually, so you hesitate, you could withdraw and try it with a different approach, or you could else do it. So you could either do it with the minor consequence, which is what we were just kind of talking about, but you could also, if you wanted, try again to do the roll again with a risky position.
Would I have to take more stress though to
If
get
you
the
wanted to
extra
push
die?
yourself again, then yes. So you might want to just accept a minor complication in
I'm
this
just gonna take it.
circumstance. And in fact, actually, what I'll allow you to do, if you want, is to make it basically the complication can be. Yeah, you know what? Like, yeah, let's have the complication. You kind of suggested like maybe you have a headache, right? So let's give you a headache level 1 harm.
So that goes under harm, right?
Yeah, in the little level 1 field. So, but yes, the sections the death klaxons turn off. You suspect, based on what you know, is that they will still, at the very least, want to come and see why they went off, right? Even if they
Yeah.
think it might have been a false alarm, they'll still want to investigate. So that's. But yes, so you have a little bit of a headache, but at least that's some progress. In the meantime, though, Silhouette and Crash, you are still on opposite sides of a building lobby full of blue coats.
Mm-hmm.
I think because I haven't heard from them,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to go look for them.
Okay.
But I don't want to look. I don't want to be suspicious.
Uh-huh.
So I am going to. I'm gonna pull my hair up and make it look all neat,
Yeah.
and pretend that I always had a coat with me the entire time.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pull my trench coat on and tie it at the waist, and go walking down the street like I'm just a busybody observer
All right.
to see if I can figure out if I can like
I will.
get eyes
You know
on
what?
either one of
I'm
them.
going to just give you that, right? Because the blue coats don't know you by sight. What they know is they were called to this building, right? So if you're
Right.
walking by outside and they don't have any other reason to be suspicious, I think you can just walk by and you can kind of get a glance of what's going on. And I won't even make you roll for that.
Okay. So can I see either one of them?
Yeah, well,
Like
so
if I scan the building?
yeah, I think you saw where Silhouette went, so you see him in his hiding place. He hasn't been detected; he just wasn't effective in his first attempt. So you see where he's hiding, and then you also see a group of blue coats all standing around looking at something on the floor. Maybe that's Falwell or Crash, I should say.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to start walking like down the street,
Mm-hmm.
like where all this is, rubbernecking it and fake trip and have like my heel break or something to
Okay.
kind of distract them.
Okay. Well, so I think that this is making me think of Miss Tessmacher from the Superman movie. I'm thinking specifically of the old Christopher Reeve one and just her whole deal.
Oops.
This sounds to me like a sway move.
I have 0 in the.
Well, you can pitch me on something else, but just what you've described here, which is just like, oh, I'm so sexy and helpless, blue coats. You have to stop what you're doing in the middle of your job and pay attention to me instead, right? I'm not saying you can't do it, but that sounds like what you're you're trying. So if you want to tell me that there's something else happening here, which would give you a different skill, let me know.
I would could I use finesse to do like a subtle misdirection to sort of draw their attention towards me?
I think that would be limited effect because they literally are storming a building right now.
Yeah.
They literally just shot a bunch of bullets everywhere in this lobby and now are looking at someone who just came out of the elevator shaft. I feel like their attention is on that. And so it would need to be something pretty significant to get them to look away from that.
What if you scream?
I was just gonna say that. Like, what if
Yeah.
I scream and
Mhm.
Blood curdling scream.
I think
like
that
I got shot or something?
I would say that would be more effective. I think it is still a sway unless you want to tell me it's something else, right? But like I think that would be a standard result because it's not like, oh, come help me. It's more like, oh my gosh, there's something really bad happening over there.
Uh-huh.
hmm
All right, I will try sway. You only get one die with that, right?
Well, so I mean, if
Like I don't have anything, so you
right,
just
if you
get
don't
like the
have
one
anything,
die,
what it does is it rolls 2 dice and you have to take the lower one.
the lower one. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. So
So
this is
that
yeah.
is
So this is
risky.
controlled again. It's starting
Oh, it's
controlled
controlled.
because again, like nobody knows you're involved,
Okay.
right? But you are sort of getting involved. So it's controlled, but
Mhm.
controlled standard. Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty, here we go. I'm not gonna look. Oh my god. Again.
Wow.
That happened
Wow.
last time.
That's another double one.
I know.
Man, okay. Well,
That's all
so
3 of us so far.
Yeah,
yeah.
this is what always feels rough about this
Yeah.
system. Is it
Well,
feels
you
like that
guys got
happens
some
more
you got
often.
some better dice on the first couple of rolls though, right? So
Yeah.
in any case though, because this was controlled,
Mhm.
you falter. So you can press on by seizing a risky opportunity or withdraw and try a different approach. So it didn't work, but because it was controlled, there's no consequence. But if you're saying like, oh, this isn't working, I'm going to try even harder, you could do it again, but it's risky. See what I mean?
Okay.
Or you could
I
just say,
will.
oh, well, never mind. I'm going to back up.
I kind of want to try it risky because I feel like,
Hey, what were
if I
those
don't,
advice we just rolled, right?
yeah,
So yeah, okay. So let's try that again. But this time it's risky.
and it's still standard.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, I don't want to look. I'm so scared.
Okay.
That I won again.
Yeah, it is a 1 again because it's there was a 4 on there, but you're still taking the lowest one. Okay, so things
Yeah.
go badly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think. Okay, I know what happens. The blue coats are so busy shouting at each other that they literally don't even hear you, but someone does. Suddenly,
Oh no.
from a nearby rooftop, a sniper rifle cracks in the psychedelic air, and you've got a level 3 sniper round headed your way. So you can
Wow.
resist just like Crash did with the other guns, but basically the client knows who you are, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
now you've just attracted attention to yourself, and they are thinking, I've got to cut off all the loose ends here.
Okay. So, what do you do to
So,
resist harm?
right. So what you're going to do is a resistance roll. So on your sheet, you have depending like we've only done resolve ones so far, just because we've been resisting gunfire. But for example, resisting prowess would be well, let's see. Actually, you know what? Maybe it should have been prowess before for Paul, now that I look at it. Because prowess says resist consequences from physical strain or injury. Resolve would be from mental strain or willpower. And then insight would be from deception or understanding. So I think it would actually be prowess in this case. Probably should have been
Okay.
prowess for Paul too, but we'll move
It's
past
already
that.
done.
Yeah.
Yep.
So in any case, because you have dots in one of the prowess skills. That means for prowess you're going to be rolling 1d6, and to resist, the amount of stress that it will cost you is 6 minus the highest result. And this is to resist and take the level 3 down to a level 2. Bearing in mind that if you fill up your stress, you're going to be taken out of the scene.
Yeah.
So, if you're taken out of the scene, I think once you're resisting, you can't choose to turn a key instead, and we wouldn't be able to do that anyway because you haven't like unlocked them enough. So
Right.
I would say either you take the sniper shot, or you're gonna try to reduce it from a level 3 to level 2 harm, but risk taking enough stress that it takes you out of the scene. And you'll have to do a deadlock one of your keys.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Now,
I rolled a 6.
Okay, look at that.
Nice.
Okay. Wow. See, now you're complaining about the ones, but then you've also gotten a couple of 6s where they really count here.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that what that does here is that this takes a direct hit shot. You know, it wasn't like a headshot, but now it's like it takes, you know, like gut shot to flesh wound. Like you get it. You know, it's one of those, like, the shoulder is classically where it happens in movies, except, of course, like, in real life, there's all sorts of stuff in your shoulder that's really bad if you get shot there. So
Yeah.
maybe in the bicep or something. You tell me where you would like it to be.
I'll take it on the bicep.
Okay. Yeah, so you've got a level 2 harm arm shot, you know, or, you know, bicep punctured, unless you want to try to resist it again.
No, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be okay.
Okay. All right. So you've been shot in the arm. That is a major arm. So you're going to be probably suffering from that a little bit more than Crash was being grazed, right?
Right.
So I think that is the consequence of your failure there.
But this time I screamed for real.
Yeah.
Because I
yeah.
just got shot.
Well, you know, but you did fail though, was the
Right.
thing,
Yeah,
right?
I know. I
You
just
failed
like
with a
I
1,
just screamed.
right? And so I think you scream for real, but unfortunately the blue coats literally don't hear you. I think
Yeah.
Silhouette and Crash probably do. So you just, like, you know, you're feeling like you've got a bunch of blue coats. This is already a problem. Oh, thank goodness Red got away. Silhouette, you haven't done anything in a minute.
So I want to make sure I reestablish the scene properly.
Yeah.
On the 4th floor, we have Crash on the other side of the
No,
towards the inside.
you're on the ground floor now.
Ground floor.
Ground floor.
Oh, Crash is on the ground floor. Okay.
Yeah, he
perfect.
went all the way down in the elevator shaft.
Okay, but he's
Mhm.
in the elevator.
Yeah, so
But
we've
there's
got
blue
the ground
coats.
floor lobby
Okay.
full of blue coats. Crash has face planted at their feet.
Okay.
You are looking in from, like, the outside, from, like, the entrance. So you're
When you say
seeing this, but they haven't seen you.
When you say a bunch of blue clothes, are we like a dozen or are we
There's
like 6?
5 out of 6 on their clock.
Okay.
Meaning you've only got 1 out of 6 progress on dealing with them. There's a bunch. They're storming
okay.
the building. Some of them started going up, but then a bunch of stuff started happening on the ground floor.
But they're looking away.
They're looking right at Crash. They're not looking at you.
All right. Then I'm going to run up,
Okay.
stow the gun, and just start seeing if I can sap a few of them.
Okay. Yeah. So that sounds like, I would guess, skirmish.
Prowl, actually, because I'm doing it from a hidden position.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I will give you. Do you have any sort of, like, ability or item that you're using to assist you there?
Not really. No.
Okay. So I will say that this is, you know, you're starting from controlled. Yeah, I'll allow this to be controlled because, again, they still don't see you. They don't know you're involved because you're not coming from inside the building as far as they can tell. So you're starting from controlled, but then that's still just like standard effect.
So I want to trade position for effect.
Okay.
I want to make it risky for a great effect.
Okay, yes, love that. Great.
I will. Nope. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So no, I think that's you absolutely can do that, and I think it's a great idea.
I'm going to push myself. I'm
Uh-huh.
going to knock myself out of this stupid combat.
Okay.
And I wouldn't be averse to a devil's bargain.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, I think that the devil's bargain in this case, um, I think we've already established that the client knows about you and they know about Red, right? So that's done. I think that the devil's bargain is that um, the while this is happening, Section 6 is going to pull up. They're going to arrive on scene.
I have to refuse that one. We've got too
Okay.
much shit going on as
Sure.
it is.
Okay. Yeah. So they're
Okay.
still on their way, presumably, but maybe
Yep.
not in as much of a hurry as they were.
Okay. So I'm gonna push myself with prowl. So that's and we're making it risky.
Yeah.
For a great effect. Well, limited, I guess.
No, great is what you want, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So from standard, better is great.
Oh, right. Sorry, just looking at the order they had them here.
Mm-hmm.
And one extra die. Well, it's
Look at
not
that.
all ones.
Well, you got a 5, which is pretty good, all things considered, right? Because you get what you wanted. You get the effect. So risky on a 4 to 5, you do it, but there is a consequence. You suffer harm, a complication occurs, reduced effect, or in a desperate position. So what we could potentially, you know what? Here's what I'll say. Great effect means you're going to get 3 ticks on that clock, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So you went from 1 to 4 out of 6 on the blue codes, meaning you take out a bunch of them, and we'll describe that in a second. But I think the consequence is that you don't get all of them, and now it's really obvious that you have just knocked out a bunch of these guys, or at least taken them out. Let's describe what that looks like. What does that mean? Like, is this just you're coming in and you're just literally, while they're all looking at Crash, you're like, poof, 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 with the sap?
Maybe a little bit more cinematic than that, but
well, yeah. I guess tell me, what does it look like? Do you badass kung fu or what?
I think it's more distraction. It's kind of come in, touch one guy on the shoulder, he looks away, backhand him into another person, do a reverse elbow, charge forward, and then kind of there's a bunch of them down, but now he's kind of in the center of them all.
Nice.
Or the one that's left.
But the focus here is like you're not shooting, you're not going for the kill. You are just trying to get them at least incapacitated enough that you could maybe try to run away. Right?
Exactly.
Is the idea.
Yeah.
So I think you get a whole bunch of them, but there are some left that now are looking right at you with what you've done. So I think what that means is that you are now in a desperate position. Both you and Crash are starting whatever your next thing is in a desperate position. But you've made some pretty good progress on the Blue Coats clock there. How about you, Crash? I think you've, Silhouette's come to your rescue somewhat.
Yeah, I am going to try to like kick one of them in the knee while I'm getting back up, and then punch another one.
Okay, so that sounds like skirmish again, right?
Yep.
Okay, so are you? So you're starting at desperate, but I'll give you a standard effect.
Okay.
Are you pushing yourself again, or you get
I'm going to push myself.
Stress?
I'm going to push myself again.
Okay. Remember, the way stress works is you can, if you mark the last one, that is what takes you out. It's not, sometimes in games it'll like you can fill it up and only if you can't take more, but no, then this, if you mark the last one, it's takes you out. But so yes, so desperate, standard. You can go ahead and push yourself with another 2 stress, and
give me 1 bonus die.
Yeah, and if you get your standard effect, that's going to be 2 more ticks on the clock. You'll fill it.
I got a 5.
Wow, look at that. Okay, so I think that what that means is that you are, the 2 of you together are going, and so make sure you mark another
2 stress.
XP, I was going to
Oh.
say, also for doing another desperate roll.
Got it.
I think that between the two of you, you take out all the rest of these blue coats here on the in the ground floor lobby here. Like there are some upstairs, but they don't realize what's happened, so they're like proceeding to try to clear the building, and they're probably running into difficulty with the other, the thugs up there. But you have now taken out, like you've gotten all of the blue coats that were here in the lobby down and out enough that they cannot stop you from running away. They do know who you are. Like they did get good looks at you. But nonetheless, will you be able to like run away like without them being able to stop you? Yes. So you've stopped that. But also, I think as you look at each other and then you both look out the front door preparing to go out there, you see Red there with holding her arm bloody. Ah.
All right, stop playing around, Crash. It's time to leave.
Let's roll, baby.
Okay,
right.
Great. So what's the plan?
I'm gonna Peter Griffin it. I'm just be like every other step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So I heard mention earlier of there being a vehicle. I don't think you just automatically have a vehicle, but maybe someone could flashback a vehicle. That's just a thought. Obviously, the three of you, like at the very least, what you know now is, okay, well, the blue coats and the goons are taken care of at the moment. Section 6 is maybe on their way, maybe imminent, but also there's someone with a sniper rifle. Maybe the client trying to wrap up loose ends, who's got you maybe pinned down.
Could I go back in time and
you mean like with a flashback?
Yeah.
Okay.
And have one of my weird friends
Uh-huh.
have known about this that we were going to, because I have an intimate bond with one of my friends. Like
Okay.
we're in a relationship. So I would have probably told him about it.
Okay, this is Goodridge, who is an archivist.
Yes.
Okay.
So I feel like I would have probably told him about it because, it was kind of sketchy and I was worried.
Okay.
So maybe he would be, waiting at the end of the street in a car.
So here's the thing, is that I think you and Goodrich are great together. Like, I think there's good chemistry. You are, like, as you mentioned, intimately involved. He is an archivist. I think it might take some doing for him to be persuaded to put himself literally in harm's way this way, right? I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm saying that we might need a roll, right?
Okay.
And I think that, like, again, this is another example where the most obvious role might be Sway.
Yeah.
Or Consort, perhaps. Because Consort is, like, as we, look at the descriptions, Sway is more like, Sway someone with charm, logic, deception, disguise, or bluff. Consort is like with connections from your heritage, background, friends, or rivals to gain access to resources, information, people, or places. Right? So what I'll say is that if you wanted to have him do something like have loaned you his car to have nearby or something, right? Like a car that wouldn't have otherwise been connected to you or something like that. But I'm just thinking it's like for him to be like physically on hand, physically there in this very dangerous thing, and for him to have stuck around with what's going on, I feel like that would take a lot of persuasion. But if what you wanted was for him to have let you borrow his autopod, which is kind of what they call cars here, that seems easier.
I think that that would be more likely. Like, as you pointed out, like he is an archivist. I doubt he's going to be out there in the fray. to like just maybe
I love the
park his
idea of,
car at the
yeah.
end of the block.
Okay, so the flashback here then, what I will say is I'm not going to make you do a roll because I think you and Goodrich are close enough. How did you meet Goodrich?
In the library.
Yeah? You just like
Yeah.
did
I
like
was in there
a
looking
meet
up
cute. You're both
paranormal.
carrying stacks of books and you bump into each other and drop your books. Oh wait, is this one mine? Is that one yours?
It was love at first page.
Oh, okay. So in any case, I think yes, you would have been able to borrow his autopod and have parked it nearby as a possible getaway vehicle, right? I think I'm going to charge you 1 stress for that.
Okay.
But what that means is, I think the 1 stress reflects the fact that, you know, you like him. You don't want to get his car maybe shot or
up.
blown up or worse. Who knows?
Yeah.
Bled on at least. But
Yeah.
yes, so pay 1 stress for that flashback, and we sort of we cut to you watching. It's like, oh come on, it'll be fine. You know, like I just I'll get it right back to you later tonight. You know, and then when I bring it back, maybe and then we fade to and then we can sort of have the camera pan as the 3 of you like look to the alley where the autopod is waiting for you.
Come on.
All right.
Like gesture for
All right.
them to follow.
We leg
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Okay. So I think what we're gonna so we can do this as a group check here. That's one way that we can do this, as you're all basically trying to run for the car. And the way that works is, I think you all 3 make the same roll, but the highest result is what is the overall result for everybody. But whoever's the chosen leader is going to pay with stress for anyone who failed. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
I only have 3 stress left.
I only have
Yeah.
2.
Mhm.
Yeah, same 3.
Well, it's been a stressful day.
Then
So
I'll take it.
Yeah. Okay. So
Well, what's the lead? What's the role here?
yeah. So I think it sounds like trying to get to the autopod, knowing that there's a sniper, trying to get there without being shot. That seems like maybe it's a prowl. I think that right now it's a risky, I'll say risky standard, but all 3 of you would be making it. And if Crash is the leader, that means that if either Silhouette or Red get a 1 to 3, then that costs a stress for Falwell or for Crash. I'm getting used to the nicknames. So that's one way we could do it, as opposed to each of you sort of making the roll and dealing with any possible consequences individually. I think it makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially since we've established all 3 of you kind of like, okay, let's do it. So let's have everybody then make a risky standard prowl roll. And you can choose, of course, to push yourself as per normal, but it doesn't change the overall sort of result there. So that
Oh
looks
my god.
like okay. So it looks like we've got for Crash got a 5 and a 3, but it's 0 dice, so that's a 3 result. For Red, that's a 6 and a 2, but that's a 2 result. So, and then we got a 6 result from Silhouette. So what that means is that it's going to cost you 2 stress, Crash. But
I'm still standing.
yeah, it costs you 2 stress, but it's a 6 result for everybody, which means you get to the autopod without being additionally shot. And
Yay!
that 6 result, that's a 6 with a standard effect. I'm going to mark 2 ticks on the client clock.
Yay!
Now, you may not be shocked to learn that the client is not going to just let you go that easily.
Yeah.
You had the impression that when you took this job, there was someone, that was only identified to you only as Agent 36, who seemed to be, young and zealous. This woman who was, you know, felt like you all kind of got the vibe she is the junior member of a two-person team handling this, right? That was the vibe you got, but that was the only person you talked to, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have the feeling, I think Red especially right now, have the feeling what you're dealing with now is the senior member of the partnership, right? This is the one
Yeah.
who said, well, that went bad. Time to clean things up. No one is allowed to know that Blackthorn Park was involved, right? Like that's probably the thinking. Who's driving?
I am.
Okay, with your
And like,
shot arm.
yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like, don't get any blood on the car. Just like, did you not cover your wound?
All right. Well, I mean, we're gonna factor that into how effective you're gonna be driving. We'll see.
Mhm.
So I think yes, you've all piled into the car. You are pulling away, and I think that who would be the one looking back through the back window as you pull away?
Probably Syl.
Okay. So what you see as you pull away is that from one of the corners of the nearby rooftops, you see a resonance echo holding a sniper rifle drift from one rooftop to another to try to follow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
going to try to take some pot shots at that.
oh yeah? Okay.
Moving with a sniper rifle. Jeez.
Mm-hmm. So this is a translucent, ethereal figure who seems nonetheless capable of firing an actual physical sniper rifle.
I'm going to shoot the certain thing. I'm going to shoot the sniper
Yeah,
rifle.
great. Love it. Love it. It seems like a thing to try.
Yeah.
So,
Let's see how we do this.
so that's
Hunt.
yeah. I think that this is still risky, right?
Okay.
I'll give you standard effect though. Standard effect reflecting that if you succeed that you'll get two more ticks on the clock.
I'd like to hit the key of calculating as
Yeah?
he hesitates on the shot.
Great. So go ahead
I
and
also
mark one for that key, and you can take an XP.
and oh yeah, where does the XP go?
So when you're marking that XP on your sheet, right there's a little spot right there by the key.
Oh, okay. So that is the one.
Yeah, you mark it there. Actually, I think
Oh, mark one XP on any track. Okay.
Yeah. In fact, actually, if you play down there, so there's a playbook advancement, and then there's XP. So by your insight and prowess and resolve, right? So those are places that you can
okay.
mark
Perfect.
XP. Yeah.
Excellent.
So
Okay.
yeah, when you're marking XP, if you mark it, so like for example, on your sheet for insight, you have 6 marks right there. If you fill that up, it means that you can add a new dot under one of those insight skills, right?
Right.
If you fill up the track of marking XP on playbook advancement, it lets you choose one of those other playbook advancements, which is to, like you can get like a new special ability, for example.
Okay.
Yeah.
And because he is being calculating and waiting to take a shot, I'd like to trade again position for effect.
Okay, so
Make it
you're
a
already
desperate.
risky, so it'll be desperate, which will let you mark another XP.
Yeah.
But desperate for great effect.
And I will take the stress for an second die.
Okay.
Because why not put all the things on the
Exciting.
table?
Yeah.
Desperate. Great. 1 bonus die. 6 and a 4.
Look at that. So with a 6, that's a great. So I think, yeah, what does it look like? You just really take your time. You just like you like maybe brace your gun
Yeah,
with one arm.
and it's kind of, I would imagine the other two may be getting a little desperate at this point. Just take the shot, waiting
Yeah.
just a little longer,
Mm-hmm.
and then pack, small little pack on this side because he still has
Yeah.
the silenced gun,
Mm-hmm.
and then the as the gun is hit and
Yeah.
whatever
Like
the
so
great effect on
you
the
have
gun is.
shot so the sniper rifle in midair, you watch as it sort of like gives a small little explosion, and you watch as it's sort of like blown back through this ghostly figure and then starts to fall to the great dismay, you imagine, um, of you've heard rumors of an Agent 2 who is supposed to be a Resonance Echo agent of the Blackthorn Park. So that's now 5 out of 6 for the client. Like you've definitely dealt with that sniper rifle, which is a big deal. But also they're, like it could still try to follow you, right? Also, I think at this point, probably the when Section 6 shows up to investigate a normal death klaxon, the way that works is that there is a special sort of car that comes out that is, it's normally what it would be is like this is the car that is for collecting the body, and it's populated by a bunch of what are called mourners, which are generally people who have had kind of a psychic procedure done on them to make them not very they're cooperative but kind of emotionless. And so they've come, and generally speaking, they need a team because there's an understanding that although maybe there's not any kind of a resistance, but collecting the body is not optional, right? That's not something people can choose not to do. And so they are prepared if there's resistance to do what's necessary to collect the body, is the idea. So I think that car is now pulling up outside in time, perhaps, to see you all speeding away from the building where there was a mysterious false alarm on the klaxon, right? And so I think what you have now is Section 6 with 2 ticks remaining on the clock, the client with 1 tick remaining. What would you like to do to try to deal with either of those problems?
Drive away really fast.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I think that drive, I believe
It's finesse.
Finesse. Yeah, so it's finesse, but what I'm going to say is this is risky, and I think it's going to be limited effect because you are hampered by your injured arm.
Okay.
Now, you could, if you wanted, like Silhouette just did, so you could trade. You could make it a desperate roll for possibly getting standard effect instead of limited. Limited will let you tick 1 clock, like 1 tick.
I will. I haven't rolled any desperate, so I will.
Yeah.
I will try that.
Okay, so desperate standard, finesse then. And so I don't know if you have the stress to push yourself. You could take a devil's bargain.
What does that entail again?
What it means is that you would potentially get another bonus die to roll, but I get to impose some sort of a consequence that will happen regardless of the result of your roll.
I'm scared.
No, so I tell you what the consequence is, so you can choose.
Oh, okay.
It's not a mystery. So the consequence in this case would be that Agent 2's eyes are good enough to read Goodrich's license plate from where he is.
Oh God, no!
You don't want
I
that
can't
one?
do that.
Okay. Yeah,
no, I can't.
That was the bargain. So no, you don't get the extra die.
Yeah, that's okay.
So finesse then from desperate standard.
All right, here I go.
All right.
6.
Oh, look at that. That is great. So that's a 6 for standard effect. were you focused more on not having Section 6 see you, or more on the client getting away from the client?
I got shot by the client, and also I probably am paying attention to the road and didn't see Section 6
Okay.
as
So-
clearly, so I would probably be focused on getting away from the client.
So, because the same action applies to both, what I'm just going to do is I'm going to say that you get the 2 ticks you get. One of them is to complete the client clock and lose Agent 2. And then the other one goes to take the Section 6 from 2 to 3. And so there's only 1 tick left to basically have Section 6 lose track of you. So you're what does this look like as you're driving? Like, did you try to bandage your arm? Because I would imagine it's bleeding. Have you got it like hung out the window? So it's bleeding?
Yes.
They can just follow the blood
Driving
trail
one
at this
arm.
point.
That's funny.
Drive
so
through the car wash.
I think it's tricky to drive around here because there's just a lot of people in the streets, a lot of pedestrians passing, walking around. I think actually I'm also going to say right now, you've had sort of the psychedelic sky colors of Twilight, but now just like a sudden snap, the sky goes completely dark and we're back into just regular night, and it suddenly gets cold outside too. But so you got just a last little bit of attention where you think it's possible Section 6 might have someone looking for you who would like to try to take care of that, and how. Yeah?
I am driving.
You just did some driving.
Yeah,
I'm
I was
kind of
gonna say.
Thinking,
How about-
can I survey to direct the car
Yeah?
to a safer route?
All right. So I've got us on the map here, and so if you look between where I've got all the little clocks
Yeah.
here, this little explosion sign is kind of where you were. And
Okay.
so yeah, like if you want to do a survey to just try to decide like which way to go to best get away.
Yeah, I'll try it.
Yeah, all right. So I think this is still just risky,
Okay.
and standard, unless you have something else that you think would change that.
I don't. No, I don't have enough stress to do anything either.
Okay.
So it's just going to be a plain old, what was it, survey? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, survey risky standard.
Yeah.
0 extra dice. That's
Okay.
a 3.
That's a
Oh,
3.
no.
So yeah, I think that unfortunately for you, the 3 result does not give you what you were looking for. So on a risky with a 3, things go badly. You suffer harm, complication occurs. I think what happens here is that you turn the corner where you think that you are going to be able to get away, and you almost crash because there is a second Section 6 vehicle there that has cut you off, which I will go ahead and explain. That's strange. Usually for a single death klaxon, even if there wasn't the false alarm, why would there be a second one? They don't usually send more than one.
That's strange.
But not only is there a second one, but they seem to have been they seem to have maneuvered in such a way as to cut you off.
Would
Um,
well, since that would bring the car to a stop, right?
Yeah, you had to slam on the brakes.
Could I potentially do the same thing I did before that messed with the alarm system and turn it back on?
I mean, potentially, although you are driving and Crash hasn't done anything for a minute.
That's true. Yeah.
yeah, and I want to try using command
Yeah?
to tell them that there's a disembodied spirit floating on the rooftops
Okay.
that I just saw over there, and oh, thank God that they're here to help.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I think um, the I think that this is still going to be risky, but and it is going to be limited effect. However, the concession I will grant in saying that it is limited effect, meaning you think that will maybe only get their attention for a moment, but a moment's maybe all you need because you do only have one tick of the clock left.
Okay.
And so I think that you had to, so Red had to slam on the brakes to avoid hitting it, but there is basically a way to go so long as they are distracted just long enough that they don't pull forward more. So you could get around them and they would have difficulty turning around to follow you right away, but only if they're distracted for that moment. So so I think this is risky standard for a command to see if you can get them to say, what? Huh? Just long enough for you to pull past them.
All right. I got a 3.
Okay, well, yeah, unfortunately, I think that they go ahead and they pull forward that rest of the way. The car is more blocked now. And I think that, let's see, gosh, I was about to just say one of them yells at you and he's real mean and it hurts your feelings. But you already have 2 level 1 harms, so that would make any consequence. You know what? I think what happens is Red was getting ready to pull forward and they pull forward to block and you do hit. So it's a fender bender is all. But now there's damage to Goodrich's car. And so that's the consequence here. So you've not escaped, and now the car is damaged also. Like, probably still drivable, but not pristine.
I start to cry.
Aw.
That's my action.
Okay, so like these guys are getting out of the car. They look like they're definitely here for you. They seem very they're very calm. Like they don't look like they're like excited or angry or anything. They're just sort of like coming towards you with like a very business-like attitude, but it's kind of honestly the sort of professional and calm that's kind of threatening. You know what I mean? Like they're here for business and you are their business right now.
All right.
So they're getting out of their car to try to see if they can't come and do whatever they're going to do, which whatever they do might depend on what you all do next.
Could I, since we vent fenders,
Yeah.
and we're not driving anymore, could I try to do what I did before to turn it back on so that they get like where they're like, wait, what's going on now?
I'm going to invite you to think bigger. Do something because you only have 1 tick left, right? So think of something that would mean that you get away, right? Because just turning the klaxon back on, we've already established there's a second vehicle that probably would not make them just leave and leave you alone if they're actually here to do something with you, right?
Could I potentially summon a spirit?
Oh, maybe.
Like coming out of the alleyway. Doesn't look like it's coming towards us in particular, but just like it's roaming free, like it's not supposed to be there.
Well, so again, what I want to encourage you to do is to think of something that would mean you all get away, right? They are here for you. So Section 6 does deal with ghosts. It would be of interest to them. But I think you need like, how does that let you get away?
They're going to be busy.
Well, so it's probably not just drifting towards them. Then it would probably have to be like hostile in some way, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be like the spirit of like an axe murderer or something.
Well, some resonance echoes are definitely angry, and maybe you could just like you're especially trying to attune to channel like a really scary one.
Yeah.
Because again, it's like as we established, we don't necessarily need to do something really destructive. It just needs to be enough for you to sort of, get around them, and then they're all out of
This
the car
is
now, right?
yeah. So I think like if they had to deal with a really super dangerous
Mm-hmm.
entity, that would distract them enough for us to like back
Yeah.
up and get
Okay.
out.
So your idea is that you want to try to use attune
Uh-huh.
to and attune is specifically attuned to spirits in the ghost field, channel electroplasmic energy, perceive and communicate with ghosts, understand spectrology. So the idea is to summon an aggressive resonance echo
Uh-huh.
and send it, like, make it mad and send it their way.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Great. So I think that's I think you're still in risky and not desperate, because these guys think that they have you under control, right? It's not controlled, but it's, they think they've got it handled right now.
Right.
So that's going to be risky, and let's say standard effect.
Okay. Here we go.
All right.
Oh my God.
That's 2 6s, which means it's a crit.
Nice.
So I think, tell me what it looks like when you attune this way. Like, what is it that you're, like, what is it that you are doing? What are people seeing? What is the experience like for you?
For me, I just sort of like enter that space, but
Mhm.
but on the outside, like my eyes roll back into my head,
Yeah.
so all you see are the whites, and
Mhm.
like my hair kind of like moves a little bit with like static
Mhm.
electricity, and I just look. I mean, I look dead when I do
Mhm.
that. Like I'm not even there.
Okay.
Almost like I'm having a
Uh-huh.
still seizure.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and you're just sort of like reaching out for like a really hostile, aggressive echo in the vicinity and trying to just sort of guide it in their direction.
Yes.
Okay. I think that you are sort of casting around, hoping for there to be something, and then are actually kind of alarmed that there is, in fact, something big and scary, and it is all you can do to just like, whoa, okay, oh, I'm getting out of its way now. Because what you all see now is that a erupting out of the street is a like huge, like almost like ogre like resonance echo that's just like
Whoa.
it's distorted. This is not a ghost of a person. This is some other monstrous extra dimensional entity that erupts out of the street, and literally, like, the Hulk just flips the section 6 car and just starts like pounding on the underside of it as they are like scrambling, and people are screaming, and there's chaos all of a sudden because there is a monster now on the loose. But the street's clear.
Not my problem, Mr.
Aha.
Not anymore.
Yes. And so that lets you go ahead and close the last of the clocks, which means that you have gotten away. Now, obviously, there are a lot of things to still consider. The client's mad, right? Blackthorn Park is mad. Keel Twin's probably mad, or should I say Keel Twin is mad.
Well,
Um,
Miss Keel.
yeah. So the gang known as the Keel Twins,
Yes.
now missing one of the titular twins, probably mad. Um, you're given you don't know who blew up the safe, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you do have still
The
is the
briefcase.
briefcase. So where do you, once you've gotten away, where do you go to try to, like, maybe ditch the car or lay low, or what's the next plan here? And that we can zoom out a little bit to a little abstract level. We're not still making moves now. You've gotten away, but just what are you doing next?
I mean, I don't want to take the car back to like our hideout.
Maybe try to go get it fixed first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I make Crash pay for it.
Well, we'll talk about that because there is going to be, we're going to do all of the proper, like, after a job stuff in terms of calculating heat and potentially payout too. We'll talk about that in a moment. But just like in the immediate, are you just like, you going to the diner after all?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's fun.
Maybe
Is it
call
still in this
Slade to.
neighborhood or somewhere else?
Well, probably not the same neighborhood.
Definitely
That's pushing
not
it a
the
bit
same
much.
neighborhood.
Yeah. We need to
Right.
clear. We need
Yeah.
to get a.
You need to go at least 2, 3, 4 neighborhoods over.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
And make
right
a
now
call to
you're
Slade to come pick us up.
yeah, you're leaving the docks. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, so like I mean, you still want to take the car, right? Or you can
Oh,
you
yeah.
can maybe meet Slade to say take the car to like a fix it shop.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And then, so that he takes the car and you can go wherever you want. So like I've got you on the map still right now. So you're leaving Daggertown in the docks. Where are you going? I just want us to get like a mental picture of what happens next.
I think we would go south away. Like when we went, maybe we go south toward Crowfoot.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know the district's well enough to suggest one, but I kind of want to
Well,
go
so
gambling.
yeah, Crowfoot is definitely like it's an older neighborhood. Let's see. Crowfoot is at a crossroads. It's the heart of Duskfall, traditionally combined many qualities from neighboring districts: the illicit vices of Silk Shore, the labor and trade of the docks, the poverty of Char Hollow, classic architecture of Charter Hall. So there's an influx of wealthier businesses and residents. So there's an increase of property values and rents, but it's still got a lot of, it's a gentrifying neighborhood.
Seems like a place where people won't ask
Yeah,
questions.
it is
Yeah.
night now, and there is a nightclub called the Warehouse, but it's actually really selective. So probably, unless you guys have an inn, you wouldn't be able to.
Two of
get
us
in.
have been shot. I don't
Yeah.
think we're getting into a nightclub.
It's just a
It's a
flash
good point. It's a good point. Well, so in any case, so you're maybe still just going to a diner, but this is like, so Apple Lane is a vibrant hub of youth culture and creative expression with numerous fashion boutiques, record stores, and music clubs. But maybe like a couple of blocks over from that, there's like a diner. That you can sort of like bundle yourselves into, or actually for that matter, since you are like, I don't know, you could maybe have a bandage around your arm. So the point is, I guess, do you want to have gone to a diner? You find somewhere else? I'm just trying to set up a scene for us to deal with the
Yeah,
briefcase.
diner.
Yeah, diner's
Yeah.
fine.
All right.
Well, you can make a
Yeah.
call to Slade, and we have to wait for
Yeah.
him anyway.
So
to
this
get
is
it,
a diner in Duskfall. They've seen worse, right? So you all are looking a little scruffy. Red has got, a fresh looking bandage wrapped around her arm. We'll deal with all the proper roles for all of this stuff later, but you've got a briefcase. It is locked, but it's not a safe.
Mm-hmm.
So you could probably.
It isn't
going to
explode, is it?
Well, you don't know. I'm assuming you would want to open it, but you tell me. If you decide you wouldn't want to open it, we can also deal with that.
I think we should open it.
I mean,
I wanna
under
know
the
what the hell.
circumstances, yeah, it's like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, one person got killed,
Mm-hmm.
and it was an obvious setup to, you know. So, and since the client was shooting at us,
Mm-hmm.
they weren't too happy with the situation. So, like,
Yeah.
I don't think we pissed off somebody we never met before. So something else is going on, and it has to do with what's in this briefcase.
All right,
Yeah.
hand it over, and I'll pull out a proper pack
right.
of picks and
Yeah. And,
All right.
and
Carefully unlock it.
Yeah, I think you can manage that. It's not like a
Mm-hmm.
super duper spy briefcase. It's just an ordinary lock. But when you open it, what you find is there's a whole lot of what look like very technical documents, like describing some kind of a technology. There's a lot of like specifications for different parts, a lot of descriptions of different like suppliers and energy sources, and there's a lot of details. But then as you're sort of flipping through these pages, you find a page that makes things a little bit more clear. It says at the top, mission code name Blue Raker 5. And what you see on that page is clearly a diagram of a large rocket.
Ooh.
And I think that's where we sort of cut to black for our session here.
Well, we could get some
Yeah.
money selling this.
Well, yeah, maybe. That's why I was mentioning is like payout might determine on what you decide to do next, because you certainly where you were supposed to get your payout from didn't pan out.
No.
But so yeah, I think what we will do then for next time is we will do the aftermath rolls for this. You'll kind of so we'll figure out like how much heat was there. Is there any sort of kind of other payout? Decide what you want to do with the briefcase, because you could certainly probably try to sell it, but also, depends on, do you want to sell it right away, or do you want to figure out who might want to pay the most for it, right?
I want to figure out who set us up and messed
Well,
them up.
I think those
Who
are
set
all
us up the
good
bomb?
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes, so we'll do the aftermath, and then so next time will be like aftermath, downtime, and that whole part of the gameplay cycle, and then we'll probably finish the next time by you choosing your next job.
All right.
So
Sounds good.
now we have begun the adventure proper for inSPECTRE here in this game of Blades 68. So we will return for next episode on so many levels.
So many levels, and I'm falling past them.